Welcome to Rabbi's Story, guys. As the rain beats down tonight, let's dive into stories that'll make your heart race. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss the story. Brace yourself. It's about to get creepy. Let's begin. Intade, cabin in the woods. I was never one for the whole cabin in the woods thing, to be honest. Never really cared for the isolation, the quiet. I've always been more of a city guy, you know. People around, noise, lights. But my buddy Greg, he was the outdoorsy type, always planning trips, trying to get everyone out in the wild. This time he managed to convince me. A weekend in the woods, he said. Just a little cabin on the edge of nowhere. Get away from everything. No distractions. I should have known better. We drove up, me, Greg, and a couple of other guys. The road was narrow, barely wide enough for one car, but Greg kept saying it was just part of the adventure. The drive was longer than we expected. By the time we got to the cabin, it was late, and the sun was already setting behind those thick trees, casting everything in shadows. The place looked run down, like it hadn't seen a person in years. No real driveway, just gravel and overgrown weeds. But it had a charm, I guess. A rustic, old-world kind of charm. We unpacked and settled in, made a fire, cracked open some beers. Greg was in his element, walking around the place like he knew every creak of the wood. The others were fine, laughing, talking. But there was something about that cabin, something about the silence, that pressed in on me. I didn't say anything at first, thought it was just nerves. The whole idea of being out in the middle of nowhere for the weekend was starting to hit me. So, I brushed it off. Then, the first night hit. I was the last one to turn in. Everyone else had already passed out, and I stayed up to stoke the fire. The wind outside was howling, and the trees scraped against the walls of the cabin like they were reaching in. That's when I heard it. A knock. It was so soft at first, I thought maybe it was the wind against the door. But no, it was deliberate. A knock on the front door. I stood up, walked to it, and looked through the peephole. Nothing. I opened the door, but there was no one. No sound. Just the howling wind and the cold air. I figured it was just some animal, maybe a raccoon or something messing with the cabin. Still, I felt a chill run down my spine. I shut the door, double-checked the lock, and went to bed. The next morning, we all laughed it off. Maybe a tree branch had fallen, or the wind had caused the door to rattle. I didn't mention it again, but it happened again that night. A soft knock, same pattern, same timing. 3 knocks. I got up, checked the door again, but once again, there was nothing. I didn't sleep well that night. Not at all. The third night was when things started to fall apart. Around midnight, I was woken up by Greg. He was shaking me, his eyes wide, his breath heavy. "Do you hear that?" he whispered. I sat up, trying to shake off the grogginess. The wind was howling, but that wasn't it. There was something else, something I couldn't place. We listened for a while. There was a sound coming from outside the cabin. Soft, but distinct, scraping, slow, like fingernails on wood. Greg and I exchanged a look. We both knew that wasn't the wind. It was like something, or someone, was moving around the cabin, trying to get in. We woke the others up, but they didn't hear it at first. They thought we were just being paranoid. We're out in the woods, after all, right? So, I grabbed my flashlight, and we all stepped outside together. We walked around the cabin, shining our lights into the dark, but there was nothing. No tracks in the dirt. No sign of anything. Just the shadows and the wind. But the thing is, when we walked back to the door, That's when I saw it. The front door had been scratched. There were marks on the wood, long, deep scratches, like something had tried to claw its way in. It didn't look like an animal. It looked like something with hands. We locked up the door again, pulled the blinds tight, and stayed inside for the rest of the night. Nobody slept. The next morning, we packed up. No one said it, but we all knew we weren't staying another night. We left the cabin that day, fast as we could, and when we got back to the car, I noticed something that stopped me cold. There were no tire tracks in the dirt road. None, like the ground had been untouched. We drove away in silence, none of us speaking, but I could feel it, that weight. The thought that whatever was out there wasn't just in the woods, it was still there. I don't go out in the woods much anymore, and if I do, I don't ever stay overnight. Not after that. If you ever find a cabin like that, out in the middle of nowhere, with the wind howling and the trees scraping against the walls, don't stay, because whatever knocked on the door, it doesn't want you to leave.